Alrighty then, back once again for another reaction. This time it's RWBY, Volume 3, Chapter 3, The Lost Fable. Now, no introduction is needed. This is some Ozpin backstory. A shaboom.
Locked away by her cruel father, Salem was a girl who desired but one thing.
Someone to climb her hair.
She
to
lived
reach her in a
time
lonely
when
tower.
kings and their kingdoms were plentiful, when men and women were capable of
Oh, this is
greatness,
cool. Watching
and
from
magic
within it
was
is always a
gift
good
from the
flashback
gods
tool.
that all could wield. And yet there she
Ooh.
sat within her tower.
The girl in the tower.
So is she based
Until
on
one
Rapunzel in the
day,
fairy
a
tale
legendary
thing?
hero came to brave the challenges within the tower's walls. The people of the lands knew him as Ozma.
Oh, it
Unlike
seems...
those who had come before, this warrior was not driven
Okay,
by the
so
prize of the
everyone
young
that he
maiden's
passes
hand.
down through seems
He
to
fought
begin
only
with
for
O.
righteousness.
Oscar,
His
Ozpin,
pure
Ozma.
heart and courageous soul prevailed.
I wonder if that's coincidence or if somehow everyone he's gone through has had a variation of the Os and Oz at the front of it.
They escaped the wretched fortress. And
Wow,
yet
he was her
something
prince.
bound them together. Ozma had been ready to give his life for justice countless times, but now saw a woman worth saving it for. And Salem, to her surprise, found her freedom not in the outside world she had yearned for, but in the eyes of the man that had saved her.
This is
So,
just like a
where
fairy
should we go
tale.
now?
Wherever you'd like.
The two fell deeply in love, planned adventures
Wow, this
around
is the
world,
Rapunzel story.
lived happily ever after. Or at least, that's what should have been. Ozma, the infallible hero of legend, fell ill, and where all of the beasts and blades of the world had fallen short, a single sickness prevailed.
Such is life.
How could the gods let this happen? The gods, brothers of light and darkness, creation.
Oh, we're gonna
and
get to see
destruction.
them?
Salem prayed they would see the injustice that had befallen her love and make things right.
I love how Jin's narrating
The
this as
domain
well.
of light was a sacred place. It was here the elder brother dwelled beside his fountain of life and creation. It was here
Wow, I love how much
mankind
interest Weiss is watching with.
fall to ruin.
This is a very pretty place. It looks like Mr. Clean with deer horns. Look at it, it's Mr. Clean with antlers.
Please bring him back to me.
I understand your pain, but you demand of me that which I cannot make so. Life and death are part of a delicate balance.
So, you won't do it then?
To disrupt the cycle of...
That's not fair. That's not fair!
Time out,
Let
dear.
him rest.
He just pieced out. I don't have to take this.
The god of darkness. None dared to enter his
Lovely
home,
decorations.
as men knew what monstrosities emerged from his blackened pools of annihilation.
Is he hard at work
And
on
so
his
you
grim?
must understand the Dark Lord's surprise when he found a lone woman kneeling before him.
Oh, wow, hello. You're moving like the Knuckleavy. Oh, why?
Salem understood it well. She told him of her loss, and professed that she knew only he could answer her prayers, all while careful to make no mention of his elder.
Rise, child, and let your faith in me be rewarded.
Play to his ego. Oh wow, yeah, younger brother has no problems disrupting the cycle.
Where am I? What is this? Where am I?
It's okay. Everything's going to be okay.
Oh, you done fucked up now.
What have you done?
I have done what I please, brother. You may bask in the powers of creation, but you do not own them.
This is not creation.
Do not lecture me.
I'll leave you two guys
I will
alone.
do what I must to maintain order.
No!
Wow, he literally just murdered a guy that came back to life.
Bring him back!
You dare enter my domain and show such disrespect!
Oh my
Abiding by the rules
god, this is torturing him!
Rules that I now see work ever in your favor.
This is a little bit messed up
To pray at my feet before your own.
towards the concept of making him die over and over again. And you're just fucking cool. Amazing!
Have our differences, but I have not come here with the aim to control you. The same, however, cannot be said for her. This woman came to you only after I denied her pleas. Pleas that would have disrupted the balance that you and I created. Together.
The tale of the two brothers.
Then it seems I owe you an apology. Allow me to correct my mistake.
Poor guy got brought back and died again. Again.
You monsters! Give him back to me! Give him back!
You should be dead. Like, that should have been like concrete.
When you first came to me, I did pity you. But it is clear now that your selfishness and arrogance have led you astray.
What did you do to me?
I have made you immortal.
Immortal?
You cannot die. You cannot be with your beloved. So long as this world turns,
you shall walk its face. You must learn the importance of life and death. Only then may you rest.
Okay, so Salem needs to learn a lesson
Salem
of
was a
some
prisoner
kind
once
in the
again.
eyes of these
Her
gods before
fruitless
she is
attempts
allowed to die.
reunite with Ozma eventually became nothing more than acts of spite and defiance against
You
the
know,
gods.
considering the Bible, this kind of story wouldn't be amiss.
Perhaps the gods were not as
The
powerful
god
as they
did some
seemed.
fucked up things,
She had lied
made
to them,
fucked up
turned them
promises,
against one another.
fucked up punishments.
They were fallible.
This is in line.
If she were to turn humanity against light and darkness,
Oh, poor
she could
Ruby
rid
though, like,
herself
oh
of their
shit,
curse.
this bitch just stabbed herself.
At the very least, she could make them suffer.
So, she cannot be
Salem
stopped.
traveled from one
She
kingdom
needs
to
to
another,
stop herself
telling
by
tales
learning a
of how she
lesson.
stole immortality from the
She's
gods,
gonna get
welcomed
MLP'd.
any swordsman
She's
to
gonna
cut
get
her down,
ponied.
and demonstrated her powers. With the kings and queens in awe, she pulled them deeper into her scheme.
This show's gonna do the
She painted
ultimate
them
twist.
pictures of a
Salem will
time when
turn
they would
good,
no
and then
longer have
she'll
to watch
disappear.
their
She'll
loved
die.
ones wither and die. When they could claim the powers of their creators for themselves, and in turn perfect their own design. All they needed to do was destroy their old masters. The gods had hoped that Salem would learn from her eternal
So is this
curse.
why the gods
And
abandoned
she
Remnant?
she learned that the hearts of men are easily swayed.
Who has led you down this path?
Hi guys, remember me? Wow, she's like the protagonist of this story.
My own gift to them, used against me.
Did you seriously just wipe out a whole town of people? That's hardcore. This really is biblical. This is not a miss in the biblical stories.
Bestow upon you.
I'll come back. I'll tell the rest of the world of this massacre.
This is cool.
A new army.
You do not understand. There is no one left. You are all that remains of humanity.
Wow, just to teach this woman a
This
lesson,
planet
they've wiped out
is a
humanity.
beautiful experiment, but it is merely a remnant of what it once was.
Forgetting so easily that we are remnants, byproducts of a forgotten past.
We will learn from this failure.
Wow, humanity was deemed a failure because this one woman couldn't get over her lost love. The gods are so unreasonable, and it's so
Still
fitting.
demanding things of your creators.
It's so biblical. Hey, I bet people freaked out about that. The moon god explained.
Once again, Salem was alone.
But then, how did humanity come back?
She
Surely
cursed
the gods
dawn.
returned.
She cursed the universe. She cursed everything. Everything but herself. She wandered the face of the planet, awaiting a death that would never come.
This does a great job at establishing a sympathetic backstory for Salem. She just got fucked over by some really childish gods.
The Brothers Grimm, the pools of black that continued to give rise
Well, I
to
wouldn't say
horrific
childish, but you know what I
nightmares.
mean.
If
They
the fountain
acted
of life
disproportionately.
granted her immortality, then surely the pools of Grimm would
Which makes
finally
it more
take
fitting.
away. She was wrong. This force of pure destruction could not destroy a being of infinite life. Instead, it created a being of infinite life with a desire for pure destruction.
Wow, okay.
And in time, she would find her adversary.
Her old love. Wow. This is a well-written backstory. Like, this is genuinely shocking and powerful. And this is the last time I'm going to say it, unless I'm talking about it in my own review, but this is so biblical, and that makes it so great. This fits so well.
Where am I?
We are between realms. I'm afraid a tragedy has befallen your home at the hands of my brother. We have chosen to depart this world, but in our absence, I would like to offer you the chance to return to it.
I don't understand.
Mankind is no more, yet
Yeah, we
your
just
world
yeeted
remains.
mankind.
And
No
in
biggie.
time, your kind will grow to walk its face once again. However, without our presence, they will be but a fraction of what they once were. Creation, destruction, choice, and knowledge were the ideals upon which humanity was made. Now, I leave them behind with the hope that you may learn to remake yourselves. If brought together, these four relics will summon my brother and I back to your world, and humanity will be judged. If your kind has learned to live in harmony with one another, and set aside their differences, then we shall once again live among you, and humanity will be made whole again.
Wow, so we know how the show is ending.
Kind is unchanged. If you demand our blessings while still fighting amongst yourselves, then man will be found irredeemable, and your world will be wiped from existence. Until your task is complete, you will reincarnate, but in a manner that ensures you are never alone.
I'm sorry, but
I see.
that world just isn't as dear to me without her. If I may, I'd rather return to the afterlife to see Salem.
You will not find her there.
You mean she isn't gone?
Salem lives, but the woman you hold dear in your memories is gone. Heed this warning. Where you seek comfort, you will only find pain. So, will you...
I'll do it.
Very well. Our creation rests within your hands.
No wonder this guy's under so much pressure.
And so, Ozma was reborn.
Where am I?
This is so interesting.
Thank you. Please, tell me your name. Who are you?
I don't know anymore.
He didn't know.
Ozma had found himself in a world completely unfamiliar to him. Cities looked different. Creatures known as the Faunus bore fangs and claws and were locked away in cages. And without the blessing of the gods, no one could perform magic like mankind was once capable of.
So everybody had the powers of maidens?
And a woman
Everyone had
as
magic? That's crazy. So this explains why Ozpin was basically a wizard. He was the only original one left. Pew,
who
pew.
commanded dark powers in the wilds among the beasts and monsters. Ozma was convinced that this witch was Salem, and decided he needed to see what she had become.
She looks really cute.
Call it magic, or call it something stronger. But in that moment, the two knew exactly who it was that stood before them.
Aww.
What do we do now?
Whatever we like.
As Salem and Ozma recounted the events which had brought them back together, each withheld parts of their story. Salem, fearing Ozma would reject her, blamed the end of the world on the gods. Ozma, still unsure of where the truth lay, kept his task and the relics a secret.
So
Though
this must be
time
what
passed
was
and
meant
all
by
seemed
him
well,
failing to
Ozma's
stop
conversation
Salem.
with the God of Light still lingered in his mind. He had found happiness, but humanity seemed more divided than ever before.
Are you surprised? This world is quite literally godless. These humans have no one to guide them. Perhaps that's all they need.
What are you saying?
We could become the gods of this world. Our powers surpass all others. Our
That is
souls
true.
transcend death. We can mold these lands into whatever we want. What you want. Create the paradise that the old gods could not.
The hearts of men are easily swayed.
Oh, wow. Ouch! Well then. Bow! Bow, peasants!
The two amassed a following. That following grew into a prosperous kingdom. And at the head of that kingdom blossomed a family.
They had kids while she was in that state? Well, I guess if nothing happened to her reproductive organs, I guess. What happened to those kids? Did they just live normal lifespans by now and die off?
Are we sure this is right?
You said we needed to bring humanity together. In order to do that, we have to spread our word and destroy those who will deny it.
What are we doing? This isn't what he asked of me.
What did you say?
Mother! Father! Look!
Aww.
It was a miracle. Their children could perform magic. But what should have been a joyous occasion.
Well, can we just get
short-lived.
over the fact that... Can we just comprehend the fact that
Ozma told
Ozpin
Salem
has
everything.
banged Salem?
The true reason the God of Light had brought him back. The relics that lay scattered around the world.
Multiple
and the day of
times.
judgment he had been told to prepare for.
Don't you see? None of that matters anymore. Why spend our lives trying to redeem these humans when we can replace them with what they could never be?
Oh god, are the children gonna die? This is a younglings situation. Leave them alone, precious babies, no! These poor girls just having to watch this. Though it's important. Uh-huh. And the children blow it up. Wow. Like, no choice, just caught in the crossfire, blown up.
We finally have freedom.
Well, on to
Thus
the next
began a long
reincarnation.
and painful cycle of death and rebirth for Ozma. Some lives were spent in mourning. Many were spent attempting to forget it all. But no matter what, his mind would eventually turn back to the task he had been burdened with. And as the centuries went on, Ozma began to learn the importance of living with the souls with which he had been paired. But no matter where
See,
or how
this
he lived,
goes against
her
people who
presence
feel
was
weird
always
about Oscar and Ruby.
If
He's
humanity
done it
were ever
before.
to stand a chance of being united, one thing was clear.
Oscar can totally be with
had to
Ruby.
destroy Salem.
That guy did it.
Knowing he could never rid the world of her through any mortal means, Ozma sought out the power of the relics. Armed with my knowledge, he believed he could fulfill his promise to the God of Light.
Where are the other relics?
He asked me his questions,
What powers do they possess?
and though I gave him my answers,
How do I destroy Salem?
not
Oh,
all
you
of
did
them
ask
were to
how.
his liking. You can't.
You can go back to Crow and join Ozpin's impossible war against Salem. All that time spent spying for Ozpin and you still have no idea what you're dealing with. There is no beating Salem.
Oh yeah, the gods won't allow her to be destroyed. She needs to learn a lesson because, you know, that's the will of God. She cannot be destroyed. Like, it's just, I can't die. Oh, wow. Very, very good episode. Oh, I think this is already one of my favourites that the show has ever put out. I'm just going to say that right now. This was paced perfectly. The characters all looked great. Like the dialogue, great. like the way the story was presented, this fairy tale gone wrong, that was such a good direction to take this. It had so much more nuance than just having this lady in white show up like, look at me, I'm so evil, twirl my mustache, have the Grim kill everything, humanity is so dumb. Like, this just turns everything on its head and makes her so much more interesting. Oh my goodness. Like, this does everything for her character, for Ozpin's character, for the whole conflict between them. I am full of approval for what they did here and the story they established between these two characters. Not only does it explain a bunch of shit, but it also sets up a bunch of shit. And that is an effective use of a flashback. I'm glad that we took a whole chapter to focus on this, so that there was no needless cuts, there was no need for filler, there was no need for, editing it down in either direction. They had the runtime, they said this is the story we want to tell, and they did it. I really appreciate that. We got so many answers, like how the moon's the way it is. We got confirmation that Ozpin is not above letting his host have a romance if they so wish, which gives hope for Rose Garden. Just something personal that I have to bring up because I'm sick of that complaint. And yeah, the fact that Ozpin and Salem were a thing, and like it was straight out of Rapunzel, that is fantastic. The headmaster of Beacon, well, ex-headmaster Beacon, and the big bad that they're trying to defeat, and now it's revealed that they can't, they were banging, yeah. And then things went south. They killed their kids in the crossfire, which is very morbid. They had magic and everything. Oh, they could have been the first 4 maidens, dang it. Oh. Well, there was so much to take in this episode. I'm going to have to rewatch it a bunch of times, and that is very fitting because this marks the end of tonight's session, so I'll be watching reactions to the first 3 chapters anyway, so I'll be able to get this story feedback looped into my head to fully learn it. I loved seeing the gods. Like, that was a really interesting touch, and as I said while I was watching, I couldn't shut up about it. So biblical, and I've grown up looking at lots of biblical stories and stuff, and they're always full of this kind of thing. Some sort of impossible task, like, build the ark, or you must kill your first son. That kind of thing. The gods do this all the time. Like, it's nothing new. Like, I know this will shock some people, like, when they see this, but it doesn't shock me. This is how gods are always portrayed in this kind of thing. They will be like, well, this one person made an error of judgment. I shall damn everyone else because you clearly cannot be taught. Like, this is like an Adam and Eve thing. Like, oh, you took a bite of the apple. That's it. Everybody gets consequences. Fuck this. Like, the gods had no chill. They just had none. I love that they did that. I love that they threw in the gods being like, this one bitch won't get over her dead ex and keeps pestering us about it and shouting at us. The only thing to do is just wipe everyone out. Just do it. Just wipe everyone out. Humanity is clearly selfish as a whole. There's no hope for you. Good luck being reborn. We're out of here. We're dishing you. You suck. Come on. It's so stupid, but because I know how plausible that actually is to be asked of God, it's brilliant. This was a brilliant chapter, and this definitely leads to the fallout because, you know, it's like, well, hang on, this whole trip has been about protecting everything from Salem and, you know, somehow stopping her. You are the one who's been saying we must stop her now, and it's literally just been confirmed by Jin that that's impossible. She's not allowed to die. The god said no, she is immortal, and that's the end of it. So yeah, you felt lied to before. that's just pulled the pin off the grenade that has, and I'm sort of scared for what harsh words are going to be said next time around, but that will have to wait. I'm ready for a break. Oh man, crazy stuff. I'll see you guys next time.